Hello there. So today what we're going to do is in this fourth edition of the RGP tools is I'm going to show you how to customize your hero graphic user interface for where the portrait is so that you can put in your own custom one there. In later episodes, what we're going to do is we're going to actually show you how to make your own GUI. But as we move forward right now, I'm just going to show you how to change out the art elements in your own project. So I'm going to do that today. Then I'm also going to show you how to interface with a character, and with that character, you're going to have a dialogue that then prompts you through having that character join the party. So just the very basics of getting started with dialogues. We're going to add to that in later episodes, and we're going to add some quests in there. But for now, we're just going to start with the basics, and we're going to build you up to it. So without further ado, I'm going to switch over here and show you the art that we're going to be working with. So what you can see on my screen here is I've renamed the original to hero UI.old and hero overlay or hero UI overlay.old, and I've replaced them with my own. So I've got these two here. So those are what we're going to use, and what you do is you just drop them in, rename the old. I always recommend renaming to underscore old or .old. It's just an IT thing. You always do it. And then you've got a backup of these in case things don't work out for you. Now where that is located is that's in your document, in your RGP tools, in your project name. This one's Cryptid Force, data, UI, then textures, and the hero UI. The other thing that we've added in here is, if I go up 2 layers here, 3 layers, in the documents, RGP tools, Cryptid Force data, I've also gone into characters here, and what I've done is I've made these screen capture images of my 3 character types so that I can use those in conversations, and I just set those up as separate images that I took screen capture of. There's probably a way to do this in Engine and point to the pre-generated characters, but I wanted to crop them in and set them up with a little closer zoom, so I just found it just as easy to make mine myself. So that being said, what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to open up RGP tools. Oh, sorry. That's not what I was looking for. Got tricked by my own shortcut. Open up RGP tools. And there we go. We're in the engine. And so what I've done is I'm just going to delete her out of there. And I'm just going to go Objects, Layers Selected, add an object. And so what I'm going to do is go add an object. Then under object mode, I'm going to come down to add unit. So under unit, you've got 3 tabs here. So under this first tab, you can select pre-generated units, but I want to select a character. And under that character, I want to scroll down here, and I'm going to add the Will-o'-the-Wisp because we're in the swamp. So I've got the Will-o'-the-Wisp character here, and I'm going to place her right here on this glowing green light. Then hit escape to get rid of her off of my mouse cursor, then select her again. So now under here you can add components, and I can add a dialogue, but I'm going to just show you the dialogue here first. So I want to go to view, where is it here? Dialogue editor. Then I want to open it up. So now under dialogue editor, you can choose to create a new dialogue or an existing dialogue. So I'm going to go with an existing dialogue right now, which is just test join party. So I've got that test join party now selected. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go options. And now I'm going to come into the options here. And what you can see is you want me to join your party. Is how this begins when you start the dialogue with this character. I'm going to choose a portrait. And from that portrait, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go just into my data, documents, RGPtools, encrypted force, data, into characters, and you can see I've got my 3 characters. Choose the will-o'-the-wisp one, hit open. So now in theory, that should actually be the portrait that's shown when you start a conversation with this character. By default, it's the little animation state that whatever your character's default animation state is. So if you're in idle mode or whatever, or portrait 1, or whatever it happens to be will be shown, which is generally a full body image. So I'm setting it to that. And now what we're going to do is we're just going to go here. And we're going to show there's no conditions applied, but you can apply a condition. So for instance, I'll add one here just for fun. And then it's like his value is greater than 1. So basically a bool variable. But what we can choose from here is a game event, a quest state, which we'll come back to later, is a gender, is a faction, is faction reputation. So you could make this as a hero. So if you run into a hero, it's like, hey, then this conversation will show up. Now, that being said, I'm not going to actually add one, but I wanted to show you that you could set that up. So I'm just going to right click on that and hit delete because I don't want a condition attached. I just want it to show up whenever you talk to her. And I do have it set as show once. So the very first time. So then now we come down onto the replies. So we've got 2 replies here, yes or no. And we've got another one that I added. I'll just delete that one. So under yes, you've got select yes, then close the dialog box. Then there's no new dialogue after that, but there is an action that's being added that says join hero group. And I'm going to delete that. And I'm just going to go plus, hover over that, plus, and then that action will be scroll down. There's all sorts of options here for you to see. Set variable, modify variable, upgrade, play music playlist, play sound, on screen text, move units to the area, log on, text message, show an object message, load a level, run a script, start a quest, finish a quest, add an item, add a resource. Again, items are like weapons and armor. Resources are like wood, gold, silver, whatever. Move camera by, move camera to. So you could actually trigger this to zoom in or zoom out. The only thing is you can't assign an action first. Now I have put that in as a feature request to Martin because often it would be nice to be able to zoom that camera in first on the player character, zoom it and move it so that you can actually like just zoom in and look at the character and then have the text start, right? So that you're changing focus during conversation. It'll kind of give you that cinematic flow. So he's looking into adding that so you can add that as your very first action when you trigger a dialogue, because that would be really good. That being said, move camera to hero, scale camera, attach the hero to a camera, send a game event, play a video. There's the one we're going to choose, join hero group, but there's leave hero group, execute autosave, and then play a certain animation. But we're going to go join a hero group. So that's what we want to do. Then this variable here is also set, and it sets joined equals 1, basically. So it just sets a global variable to say, hey, you've joined this group. I don't know why that is in there by default. I didn't put that one in myself, but I have built similar to these and I haven't added it and it doesn't seem to make a difference. But maybe it does, and I just haven't gotten that far into testing it out yet. So anyway, that's in there. And then there's those conditions. Close off yes, For no, it just says close dialog. And there's actually no actions, no conditions assigned to this. There is, you could go to another dialog, but don't necessarily need to do that. So, but what I could do is I could just add a reply, and this reply 3, I'm going to go, whoa, you're one of those big foots. Go away. And then down here, we'll just select close dialog, and that'll end the chain and close the conversation. Just so you see me adding something in there. I'm going to hit save. Close the dialog editor. File. Save. Now I want to come over here. Make sure to select Property, Settings, Character, Will-o'-the-Wisp. So is selected. I want to set a starting animation. And I think what I'm going to do here for a starting animation is just go down to talking to. It's a pretty good one, just kind of leaning back and forth, not doing much. But now I need to add this component. So there's no components added yet, so I'm going to hover over here, add a component. Don't want it to be loot. I want to go down the list so you can open a trading window, which is like a store, run a script. I haven't played around with the physics at all yet. I'm going to learn that in a little later date, but I don't know how that works yet. Play a sound and or run a dialogue. So we're going to run a dialogue. Now I could choose the dialogue. Test dialogue, join party. Perfect. File, save. Now there is something I want to do right now. I found that while I was recording my last episode, that the sound I had set there, atmospheric sound, which I'll just play for you right now, just so you can see. You hear that sound? My voice is cutting in and out. You can also see the Bigfoot is selected here, and you've got that overlay glow happening. And exit out of that. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm just going to go into my sounds layer. And what I want to do is I'm just going to zoom out here. Edit sounds. And I'm just going to delete that. And now when we play the game, it's not going to interfere with the actual gameplay. So now I'll just save again. Then we're going to run through this and show you what we just did. I'll zoom in a little bit so you can see my big hairy Bigfoot here. And we're going to go over and find that will-o'-the-wisp. This time there's no sounds to cut out as we move. There's the will-o'-the-wisp. Now keep in mind that things buffer and load in preview mode. I think I told you this before. When you actually run the game, when you compile the game and run it, you don't get any of that buffering. But here we're at the will-o'-the-wisp. You can see her all just doing her own thing here. I'm going to click on her. Oh, it's not showing my portrait. Close that out. I have a bug here. Let me see what's happening with my bug. Object layer. Things just up a little bit here. There we go. Will-o'-the-wisp. So we're set here. Dialogue. Test join party. So that is set up correct. View. Oh. Turn off dialogue. Turn it back on. There we go. Open it up. So you want to join our party. I have that portrait. I don't know why that portrait did not show. Replies. Yes. Close dialog. No. Close dialog. And then down here, close dialog. That should work. I just unchecked the show once so I can give it a test run again. Not zooming in this time. Why did I block myself on here? I think there's a rock behind that tree and I ran into it. Okay. Oh, there we go. Portrait's there. Maybe it was just something in the preview glitched. I didn't actually change anything, so maybe it wasn't working. But you can see there's that portrait of her. Of course, you make those better. I just needed something for a demo. No, we'll close this, but yes, added, and you can see that's just buffering because it's in preview mode. But there she is. So now if I move the Bigfoot over here, and you can see he's selected with this overview menu. If I go like this, now the selection has changed and she's on the hotbar. Move her over to here. Now what if I want them both selected? Now you can see they're both selected and I can move them wherever I want to. Now I haven't created any abilities for her yet, and Bigfoot's still got the default ability from the character class that I had copied him from. But basically, I'm going to zoom in a little bit here. There's my party adventuring around. So that's where I'm going to leave it for today. I've showed you how to create your own custom GUI while preserving the old files to make sure that if it doesn't work out for you, you can just revert back. And I've also showed you how to add a basic dialogue where you go up, talk to someone, initiate a dialogue with a custom portrait that we created just using the Windows snippet capture, screen capture, and saving as a PNG, putting in a file directory, and having someone join the party. So there you have it. And I think that's where we're going to leave it for today. But in the next one, I think what we're going to do is we're going to set up a monster so that there's something to fight. Because in the one after that, what we're going to do is we're going to set up a quest where for the next character, the Caladinia, the healing class, basically won't join the party unless you go and dispatch of some creature for her and bring something back to her to prove you've dispatched it. And then she'll join your party. So we're going to set up a quest, and then at the end of that, we're going to set up the join party action. So we're going to get just a little more complicated. So that's what's in store for the next 2 episodes, and I'll see you in the next one.